What's up, Hokie fans? This is Coach Mike Holmes, contributor with the Sons of Saturday, coming to you with another installment of the 10-Minute Tailgate. Each week on the 10-Minute Tailgate, we try to provide you with a curated recipe and a cocktail to make your tailgating or home gating experience that much better. This week, the Hokies are coming off of a bye. Hopefully, everybody has gotten healed up and we can play much better than we have the last few games. And we are traveling down to Durham, North Carolina to play the Duke Blue Devils. This game is a very important game for the Hokies. With a win, the Hokies can become bowl eligible. With a win, Brent Pry does not have to can go into the UVA game with a chance to win 7 regular season games for the first time. Again, like I said, make a bowl. It's a very big game. This is going to be a night game in Durham in November. Could be a little chilly. What we're going to provide for you today is going to be a recipe that should be used in conjunction with something bigger. This is more kind of like an appetizer, maybe something you have when you first get to your tailgate, maybe something that you even have on your way into the stadium. And because we are playing the Duke Blue Devils, this is going to be a blue deviled egg. So it's going to be a traditional deviled egg recipe. We're going to add a few special ingredients. We're going to add some bacon to it, and then we're going to drizzle some blue cheese on top to give it a nice little kick. Okay. For our drink, we're going to make another whiskey drink. Again, we're the Hokies. We like our bourbon. I've done some old fashions in this series. I've done some other whiskey varietals. This time we're going to go a little simple. We're going to do a twist on a whiskey sour, except we're going to throw some tobacco in there. So it's going to be a tobacco whiskey sour. Because if you didn't know, Duke and Durham used to be a big part. Tobacco used to be a big part of that culture way back in the day. So let's go ahead and get to it. So we're going to start off by making our blue deviled eggs. And so as you see right here, I have a half dozen eggs for this particular recipe. I also have about a quarter a cup of pre-chopped bacon bits. You can use the store-bought. You can make your own, but about a half a cup will be just fine. Also have a little bit more than a half a cup there of fresh blue cheese crumbles. I'll show you how we're going to infuse those in a little bit. I have a quarter cup of mayonnaise here, Duke's Mayo. Another tie into Duke. There we go, Duke's Mayo. And then I have about 1/8 of a cup of yellow mustard. So we're going to talk about how to put all these together. All right, so we're going to start by taking our eggs apart. And so all we're going to do is we're going to cut them in half. And we're going to take the yolks, and we're just going to give them a little squeeze there. Maybe just a little bit more. Take my spoon, pop them out into the bowl. I'm going to put the whites of the egg onto my plate. And we're just going to save them there for when we get ready to fill them up again. So again, while we're doing this, I want to go ahead and remind you to like the Sons of Saturday YouTube page, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on this video if you will. Let me know if you've watched any other in this series, what you like, what you don't like, if there's anything that you think that we could do better, or if you have any recipe suggestions of your own. Feel free to follow me at Hokie Hitter, and that is on all of the social media platforms. Leave me a comment or shoot me a DM and let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to see, and maybe we can include those in there for the bowl game special that we're going to do later this year if the Hokies become bowl eligible. Okay, so we are almost done here. One thing that you want to be careful of with this, it's not perfect. They don't need to be perfectly, hard-boiled, these eggs, but the hard-boiled yolk does make it easier to work with when you're making your filling. Okay, our last one. To make these boiled eggs, some people, have boiled eggs before, so if you have the recipe that works for you, that's great. For me, I put them in a pot, I fill them up with water, and then I get them on the eye, Let it come to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, I will set a timer for 8.5 minutes. 8.5 minutes seems to be perfect for this. It allows us to, it allows all the yolks to get cooked where they need to be. Then I put them in an ice bath into a bowl with some ice and water for about 3.5 minutes. And that 3.5 to 4 minutes there allows the insides to contract a little bit, makes it a little easier to peel so they all come off in one piece. Okay, so now we have our eggs in our bowl here. I'm going to get all the other little pieces I can. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my mayo. Some people, if you don't want it, I like regular Duke's mayo. Some people like to go in a little different route. But I'm going to use about 1/4 of a cup worth of mayo there. And I'm going to use about 1/8 of a cup of yellow table mustard. If you want to use a little bit of you want to use a different type of mustard, feel free. Yellow mustard I always felt worked best with this particular recipe. All right. Then I'm going to add my bacon. So the bacon is going to kind of give a little bit of crunch to the inside. It's good, and this is kind of in place of a normal deviled egg, which would have some pickled relish in there, some sweet relish. But in this case, all we're going to do now is we're just going to mix and incorporate. This is, again, real simple recipe. We're not doing a whole lot here. I'm using a fork so I can mash down those egg yolks so you're not left with very many chunks in there. But this is just mayo, mustard, and bacon bits mixed with those egg yolks. And we're going to mash those down real good and get all of that incorporated in there. Fantastic. Okay. So now that we've done that, I have my plate. There's a little bit of egg yolk residue left in the whites. That's fine. That's not a big deal. I'm going to take a teaspoon here, and see it's kind of a heaping teaspoon, and then I'm going to just add those to the inside of the shell where the yolk came from. I want to kind of do about the same amount in each one, and then if there's any left over, of course, then I can overfill if I need to. Here we go. Get all those in there. Sometimes it's a little tricky because these egg yolks like to slide around on the plate a little bit. If you don't have a serving tray that's designed for deviled eggs, some people have those. If you do, that's great. If not, we can serve those in there. Okay. Almost ready. We'll get a couple more going. Boom, perfect. Okay. That last one is always tricky. You got to kind of scrape the bottom of the bowl. But we'll get enough here to fill this last egg. Okay. All right. So now that that's done, filling is outstanding. I'm going to take some of these blue cheese crumbles. I'm just going to kind of add a couple of these blue cheese crumbles on top of my egg mixture. There we go. Bacon and blue cheese, one of my favorite combinations. It's really great on a cheeseburger. Of course, you do not have to use this. You do not like it, you could just go with the bacon in there. Some people will choose to use pimento cheese with the bacon. But I was looking for something blue for this recipe because Duke Blue Devils. And so we're going to use this here. And of course, this is not the plate that I will be serving them on. When I would go to serve them, I would transfer them to a cleaner plate. Doesn't have the extra crumbles on it for serving. Then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to garnish it. Now, with the normal deviled egg, usually you put some paprika on there. In this case, I'm going to use some barbecue seasoning. This happens to be the 4-6 seasoning. It's really good. It's infused with chili powder, so it's got a little bit of heat to it, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of heat. And I'm just going to kind of sprinkle those on top. Oop, I did miss one there. Let me get another batch of cheese there. Sprinkle that on top. It'll stick to the cheese. It'll stick to the egg. Stick to the everything else. And again, you don't need a whole lot there, but that seasoning powder is going to be outstanding for serving, give it a nice little additional flavor profile. So here we go. There we go. There are, again, this is a really quick recipe this week. There are our blue deviled eggs. We're going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to show you how to make our tobacco whiskey sour. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here. We are making our tobacco whiskey sour. This is going to be a method for most whiskey sours. We're going to follow a 3-2-1 ratio. So we're going to have 3 parts whiskey. We're going to have 2 parts lemon juice. We're going to have 1 part simple syrup. And we're going to add a couple flourishes to this cocktail as well. All right, so to go ahead and get started, I have my glass. I'm going to use a whiskey stone for this. So I have my nice whiskey stone in there. Excellent. And we're going to start off with our bourbon. And this week, if you ever get a chance to go down to Pinehurst, North Carolina, or Southern Pines, North Carolina, you go to Beehawk Distillery in Southern Pines. This is a 93 proof bourbon called Sergeant's Valor. It is a phenomenal bourbon. And it's so if you ever get a chance to go down to Pinehurst, make sure to stop by Beehawk Distillery and try some of the Sergeant's Valor bourbon. They also have a rye whiskey. They have a pistachio cream, bourbon cream as well. Phenomenal distillery. They do a great job. And this, my father, Brent, introduced me to this. He's a member of the Founders Club of Section 5. So good job, Pops. All right, so we're going to start with 3-2-1. Okay, so I have a ounce and a half here jigger of bourbon. So I'm going to add my ounce and a half here. Excellent. And then I'm going to add about another half ounce worth. So I'm going to fill up a third of the way. Okay, so now I'm at 2 ounces, right? So now I'm going to go to 1 ounce. Okay, flip this around. I'm going to go to 1 ounce of lemon juice. Add to this. So give that a nice little fill. I like the pre-bought lemon juice. If you want to squeeze it yourself, that's great. Go to town, no worries. There's my 1 ounce of lemon juice. And then I'm going to add a half ounce of simple syrup. Simple syrup is just a simple combination. It's equal parts water and sugar, and it adds a little bit of sweetness, and it'll cut down a little bit on the tartness of that. There we go. On the tartness of that lemon juice that we just put in there. Here we go. Perfect. Last thing I'm going to add, I have some Turkish tobacco bitters here. This will work great. You could use any bitters that you want if you have Angostura at home, because it's already some citrus in there. Some orange bitters wouldn't be terrible in this cocktail either. But I'm going to add a couple, maybe 3 or 4 dashes of those tobacco bitters. The aroma is incredible. And I'm just going to go ahead and give that a quick stir around my whiskey ball there and incorporate all those ingredients. You should see it should have a nice yellow color there. Looks really perfect. And that is, as that ice ball melts in there, it'll give it another little refreshing feel to it. And told you we're going to make this a tobacco sour. You can't have tobacco unless it's smoked, right? So we're actually going to smoke this cocktail. So I have my infuser. I have some oak chips that I'm going to add to the bottom of the diffuser. Because it's just one, I'm not going to do a whole lot of chips. So now we're going to smoke this. I'm going to put some flame over top of it. Get those coals nice and going. Perfect. Let that go. I'm going to add my top to it. I'm going to let that sit for about 30 seconds to a minute, and we're just kind of let that go for a little bit. So while we're waiting for this to go, once again, leave a comment, like, subscribe, follow the Sons of Saturday on all the social media sites. Also, don't forget to follow the brand new Twitter account of College Football Monday. Pete B and Sam, they do a phenomenal job for the national show. Comes out every Monday. You can watch it live. You can watch it the next day on YouTube or a little bit later. You can also find it on all of the podcast streams as well. So let's take a look now. See that smoke coming off of that? You see that smoke rising? It's a beautiful cocktail. Let's have a sip. Cheers. Beautiful. The whiskey is phenomenal. It's one of the smoother 93 proof bourbons out there. Smooth tasting. The lemon juice and the simple syrup. It's a phenomenal flavor that goes well with everything. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to enjoy one of my blue deviled eggs and finish my cocktail. The blue cheese mixed with the bacon, phenomenal combination. Love this recipe. Get a little bit of spice, get a little bit of heat from your barbecue rub, whatever seasoning you choose to use. It's a great recipe, great cocktail. Hopefully the Hokies will put on a great performance moving on and playing the Blue Devils. Then we get to go up and beat those sorry Wahoos up in Charlottesville the following week. All right. So until next time, my name is Coach Holmes, coming to you from Castle Rock, Colorado, contributor to the Sons of Saturday. We really appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Hokies.